There we
go. All right.
Hey, we're live.
Let's go. We're gonna hit this and then we're gonna go live.
We're going right in this time.
All right. We finally did it. Chat, we finally gaslit Dan and convinced him that we should make this a full RTD podcast now.
Yeah.
We're
There's a lot of beer in that intro.
We're gonna have to switch it.
It's very misleading. It's a real rope-a-dope here.
We're gonna have a new intro where we're pouring vodka, we're pouring orange soda,
A lot of bubbles, a lot of seltzer.
Yeah, we're finally escaping the toxic wasteland that is craft beer.
I'm looking forward to the weight loss, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much weight loss is going into that. It's a lot of sugar. We're adding sugar.
Ooh, well, you know what? We'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. All right, you guys know what it is. We're here. I'm Tom,
and I'm Dan.
And yeah, we got some guests tonight. So
you're still shopping that new intro. It's not working out, man.
We used to have a very structured intro, and it would take like 10 minutes. And this is we're in our
long intro.
We're in our 6th year doing this. We're like, you know what?
We're just going right in.
Just get into it. We're just getting into it.
Let's chat. Let's talk.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. So we're joined tonight by Chris and Luke, the two owners of Not Pizza. It's a vodka seltzer drink. Is it so? You have the vodka seltzer drink, you have the iced tea, just the RTD in general.
There you go. Yep, vodka RTD drinks.
All right.
We launched with 4 flavors. 2 of them are seltzers.
Okay.
And 2 of them are non-carbonated.
Okay. So you have I saw you had the lemonade also, and then the berry seltzer, right? Okay. I was at Parktown today, like looking at all of them, like which other one are we gonna do?
You were in there like right after me too, because I think I went like late afternoon. You texted me after I got the orange. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna get the tea also.
Well, I was like in between because I wanted to kind of do like almost like a not necessarily like a head-to-head comparison, but I'm so much more familiar with like Surfside. And I was like, well, there's iced tea, but my favorite Surfside's the lemonade. So do we go with the lemonade one?
Tom's a big fan of the Pepsi challenge over here.
Oh, I wish you would have gone with the lemonade then.
Yeah.
But Dan, I didn't know how you felt about the iced tea versus the lemonade. So I just went with the safer route.
I'm never going to say no to a lemonade, man. Come on.
I mean, our lemonade is killer. It's really.
I'm gonna
really
have
good.
to make another trip to Parktown.
We love Parktown. Shout out Parktown.
Yeah,
Josh is great.
So we got the guys from Not Pizza on. We'll be talking more about the brand and everything. So I mean, let's just crack into these things and get drinking and let the conversation go from there, huh?
I'm into it.
All right, cool. So we have
my liver can take during the last 24 hours, but here we go.
We're gonna be starting with the orange, which we'll get into the marketing, the label on here because we're big label shoppers on the podcast here.
You could definitely see these from a distance. When I started searching for you guys, like every cooler I went into, I'm like, there it is.
Yep.
Yeah. Those block colors, yeah.
Dan, you ready to get a crack here?
Let's go.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
I got to join in too.
Yeah, I'm going to crack. I don't have an orange, but.
Oh, it's all good. Whoa, that is orange.
So I'm going to give it a pour. I'm going to pour it out.
You're pouring it out? I'm going straight from the can here.
I think I'm going to go iced tea ripped straight from the can.
I was going to shotgun it.
So
I'm on a 12-hour bender right now. Oh yeah, someone already. Oh man, that seltzer's a tough one to shotgun. Was it the tea or was it the seltzer?
Well, we'll get into our seltzers. It's not going to be as difficult to shotgun as you may think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
a big. Oh yeah, go ahead and sip it. Let's get your reactions here.
All right, cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Oh, okay. Wow. I see what you mean now.
Yeah, super light.
Yeah, it's not as carbonated as I thought it was going to be getting the seltzer. I'm usually not a big fan of like the seltzer side of like, like Stateside and their surf side. I lean on the surf sides with those just because of little to no carbonation. And wow, this is good.
Yeah, so I mean, go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, when we were making this, we got an email from the head brewer the day after our first round of production. And he was like, hey, just so everyone knows, this is our first time doing it. There's going to be a learning curve. The carbonation levels on this first batch came in a little lower than what the recipe actually called for. So just, when you're out doing tastings, when people are buying this and drinking it, get some feedback on that. And also, let me know what your own personal feedback is. And we think it was like the happiest accident ever, because it has been a huge hit with everybody. The fact that carbonation level is lower than what you'd find in like a Stateside or a High Noon.
Absolutely.
Just not as bloated, not as burpy. It just kind of goes down super smooth. So the orange and the berry both sit in that like lighter carbonation level, which we're just like, yeah, this is it. We're sticking with this level.
Yeah, this is
immediately sold on that.
Yeah, I really enjoy that because like for me, especially when I'm drinking like a seltzer, it's usually either on the golf course or like at the beach. And I feel like when you're drinking like a Stateside, and one of the reasons why I steer away from it is because of that like over carbonation, like that bloating, burpy kind of feeling.
Yeah.
The other thing is that those have like, there's like an inherent booziness to it. Like it's not like a crazy like booze punch, but there's that like weird kind of,
I think it's a carb bite you're kind of thinking of, maybe.
Not even that. It's it's like the kind of like the vodka-y, like a little bit too much.
Really comes through for
me. Yeah, it really comes through.
On the like if it's overly carbonated versions and versus I mean, that's why I lean out on the surf side, side of this. And I mean, cracking into this, I was immediately sold on the low carbonation. And that's funny. Where did you guys end up brewing this out of, or did you guys do like a contract brew of some sort?
Yeah, so we're brewing it out of Sly Fox in Pottstown.
Okay. Awesome.
So we're essentially contract brewing with them using their tanks and their canning line and warehousing it there. So
awesome.
Super local. They've been great to work with. So
yeah, they do a lot of contract brewing work for a lot of breweries in the area. And it's funny that you mentioned the carbonation thing, because at some like smaller scale breweries that have tried the seltzers, they've done the same thing where they're like, we just didn't carb it enough because they were new to the experience of making a seltzer, and it ended up being more popular amongst like some of the beer drinkers. They're like, yeah, this is perfect. I don't like seltzers when they're too bubbly.
Yeah.
So I think, Chris, I've been following you for a little while with the Hello 422 Co. account.
Yep.
And that's kind of how I found out about Not Pizzas, through that account. So I kind of know you through that. And Luke, I'm not as familiar with, but like, tell us like the process of how you guys got into making this.
Yeah. I'd love to.
So Luke does. I mean, it kind of started with Luke. So Luke, you take the first half of that one.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, the opportunity came to us. I left my job about 3.5 years ago, and I started my own like creative agency, essentially, which kind of morphed into like a creative / marketing agency. I'm a photographer and videographer, kind of by trade, and also audio production and a musician. And I just started freelancing, shooting for whoever I could. And I had a couple clients ask me, hey, would you want to do this on a retainer basis? And one of those clients was Sly Fox Brewing Company.
Awesome.
So I started doing content creation for Sly Fox. I started doing marketing for them, running their social media accounts. And Chris hit me up because he sort of saw the Sly Fox account kind of shift, right, Chris? And was like, hey, like, who's behind this account? And I was like, oh, it's me. Like, he just DM'd Sly Fox, and he was like, I want to take you out to lunch. Like, I have this Hello 422 brand. I think we could really, build upon things with each other. So I was like, great. So we went out to lunch. We hit it off. We started shooting a bunch with like his Hello 422 clients and things like that.
Awesome.
Fast forward, a month or two after meeting Chris, and one of the owners of Sly Fox kind of pulled me aside and was like, hey, craft beer, as we kind of mentioned before starting this, is not what it once was. And these RTDs are super popular, and I want to develop a brand in this space. Would you be interested in, putting up some money and being a part owner, in a product like that? And I was like, 1,000%. And I'd love to bring on my friend Chris. I was like, I just met him, but our creative synergy was just like, it was immediate.
Awesome.
So I brought Chris into the fold, and then Chris, you could pick it up from there if you want.
Yeah. So we kind of, so we had the option, are we just going to get, paid to market a product and brand a product, or do we want to invest and be, co-founders, co-owners of something?
Yeah.
We jumped all over the opportunity to be co-owners and co-founders of something. And we were really tasked with, what is this going to be? What's the identity? What's the brand? And that started probably about 14, 15 months ago of the journey. What are we going to call this thing? Doing the market research. One of the very first tasks we had, and this is all just going to lead into like the story of Not Pizza, which I'm assuming that's where you guys want us to go.
Oh yeah, of course.
So like our very first thing was, what are we going to call this? We knew it was going to be a vodka-based drink. So we went away. We each, kind of separate. Luke and I separated for the weekend. We were each supposed to come back that Monday with a list of 50 potential names. Whatever, just come up with 50 names. So when we came back on Monday, the 50th name on my list of 50 was Not Pizza. And it was truthfully kind of just because I had to reach the 50 mark. I had 49. I needed one more. And it had been sitting in my head, not like really inspired by anything, just as a very much off the wall. Like, I look at my note now of some of the names. Like there was one I was kind of hype on. It was Chirp. Like birds chirp, like passenger chirp, like all these names now I look back on, like, oh, these are so stupid, like so glad we didn't do that. But so
yeah, I don't know if I can sit here and kick back and chirp right now.
Yeah, right. But there was something about Not Pizza that we liked and that resonated with us. And I remember very early on saying, there's only two things you need for a good time: pizza and not pizza. Like pizza is such a word and an image and a thing that you interact with on such a regular basis. So if we could start getting people to start to think of not pizza in our drinks every time they hear pizza, it's such a common word. So like from a marketing angle, there's just a lot of fun things we could do with a drink called Not Pizza.
Yeah.
So the more we talked about it, the more we were like, okay, like this is good. This stands out. This could be something. So we had our first meeting with our other partner, and he's how old's John? Would you say, Luke?
You put me on the spot. I hope John doesn't watch this. I think John's probably in his early, maybe late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah. So
he's one of our business partners. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so a little bit older. We pitch him a name like Not Pizza. And like to his credit, it took a little bit, but he kind of came on board with it. We were excited about that. So we're like, all right, this is really weird. I still probably hadn't even told my wife that this was the name we were thinking of because I was like self-conscious about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were like, okay, we're gonna do this, Not Pizza. And then we came back the next weekend after he had agreed to it, and he must have talked like to some of his circle of older friends that came back and said, "There's no way we're naming it Not Pizza. We got that."
Yeah.
So you're like,
well, he was probably like, it was this or Chirp, guys, and honestly, Chirp just sounded horrible.
Oh,
we didn't pitch Chirp, but like
no.
The other thing too is just like we looked at what the market was doing in the RTD space, and almost everything, like there are dozens of companies doing the sunshiny, surfy, beachy thing, and we were like, all right, if we could easily call this Low Tide or Point Break, and we're going to be we're going to be
God,
one.
Point Break would have gone so hard.
I mean, but
the booty cooler. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Oh my God, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, we just felt like if we did that surfy, beachy thing, we would just be bored out of our minds. One, from a marketing perspective, and
yeah,
two, we would never stand out. Like, there's no way we would ever reach the level of Surfside because we're just sort of copying what someone else has done.
You
So
would,
we're like, all right.
it would. You would just fall into like the
Mhm.
mix of them. Yeah, it
Yeah.
just wouldn't stand out at all.
Yeah. I think the Not Pizza brand, like, it's so like off the beaten path that like it stands out. Like I feel like ever since we've brought this up, it's like Not Pizza, like it doesn't make any sense, but it does at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it separates you guys.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I know it's like hyper local for us, but it kind of brought us back to RTDs. I felt like you said, like all of these beachy like RTDs that just kind of fell into this like, fell into the mix. They all look the same, and nothing really stood out for us to actually want to try RTDs. And we started like in like side text being like, yeah, you see this like Not Pizza stuff around, and that's why we wanted to look at it. I mean, you guys took a different approach. You're not doing the thin 12-ounce cans too. I like the fact that you guys are doing like a classic 12-ounce can, like a beer.
Yeah.
And that definitely helps you guys to stand out on the shelves as well, I bet.
Yeah.
I also immediately thought, like, with your partnership with Sly Fox, like Sly Fox Pottstown is such like a big like pizza spot. Like go in there and get a pizza and a not pizza. Like,
yeah, we I mean, from a branding perspective, like we wanted to launch as like our own thing, right? Like, we're in the Sly Foxes, and one of our business partners is an owner of Sly Fox, but we very much wanted to like start from a blank slate and be like, Not Pizza is like its own entity. But to your point, like, we can do so much with the pizza, the pairing of pizza, right? Like we just did something with Pizza Westchester. I don't know if you saw the remix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, that was so successful for us because, like, and this is like kind of Chris's, genius. Like I can execute on a photo or video or the content of a campaign, but Chris is very good at drumming up a concept for a campaign. And he kind of came to the table and was like, look, like we've got Phoenixville, Royersford, Pottstown, like things are going well at the distributors. Let's put the target on Westchester. Let's go out there, especially because there's a university.
Yeah. Of course.
If we could get into one of these bars that go through 30 cases in a weekend and have that be a consistent account for us, then that would be good business for us. So Chris was like, I'm going to reach out to some Westchester University students. We'll do a photo shoot and a video shoot with them on like the Tuesday before our tasting. And they post to their Instagram. They tag the beer mill. They tag 2 friends for a chance to win something. And like, it just like, it creates this sort of like tornado of social media buzz. And like, that tasting is a beer mill. We sold them 24 cases and they sold out of that right after our, because of our tasting, because all these kids who went home and tagged their friends, everybody was like, what's Not Pizza?
Build up the hype.
Yeah. So like, going back to the message, Chris, Chris was driving home from the beer mill on this past Saturday, and Dave, the owner, texted Chris, and Chris, I don't know if if you want to say what he said. It was cool because I think one of you guys said when we first got on here, you were like, it's the RTD sales wizards or something. But like he said, he was like, you guys should do a case study on how to sell product, because I've never seen that happen like with any product, like no beer, no RTD, like that tasting was so successful. So.
Yeah, like I guess I said, before we started the recording, you guys are like the vacuum salesman of RTDs. Like, you're coming out there with like a suitcase full of 12-ounce cans, just like ready to
Cutco knives.
Cutco knives ready to go. But it's like refreshing to hear that, because just we deal heavily with the craft beer industry, and if you ever been to like a craft beer tasting at a distributor, it's always like a jaded back of house employee that has to go up there and pour some beer. Hey, you guys want to try this West Coast IPA? Cool. Awesome. Right. We have it available over there. Like, they don't draw up the hype. Like, I know some breweries do try, but I'm saying a majority of them are, it's a Friday, it's their last shift. They're just trying to get home. They've been brewing all day. So it's tough. It's the last thing they want to do.
Yeah, I think Chris and I are like just at this point in this project where we feel the momentum. we're so I don't know if I can curse. We're so
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We're just so fucking excited about it that like we're in the same wavelength as that. It's our last shift on a Friday. I mean, we did 2 tastings Saturday, 2 tastings yesterday. Like every opportunity we have, this podcast, we're like, we need to keep our foot on the gas because we can really feel this bubbling up. We can feel the momentum and the support, like thanks to all of our friends, family, and people who are like now discovering us and like really showing us love. And so it's like, we're just more than happy to be out here in the streets with pulling up with the Cutco knife set,
Yeah. I'm glad we went back to that analogy because I didn't want to like make another another beachy analogy that you guys are just riding the wave of RTDs again here. I was like, yes, Cutco knife salesmen. We're gonna go with that.
We're just sun cruising, yeah.
Yeah, I love the idea of like just the mindset of getting into Westchester. I think that's such like a prime market for this because like
the younger generation drinks less and less beer.
We'll get into it in a little bit, but like the numbers, the analytics behind it of like the younger generation's just killing craft beer. It's like everyone's
not in a good way, not like killing it like they're chugging it, guys. Like like killing it as in destroying it, driving it into the ground.
This like college age right now, like the Gen Z, like they're all into either like low ABV and like non-alcoholic beers or primarily these RTDs. Like there's a huge RTD boom going on right now. And I think with like Westchester University, especially, and that generation, like they're so much more willing to support local than, what are you going to get stateside or a not pizza that is made 20 minutes from your university. Like it just makes so much sense. And getting into Pizza Westchester, like having pizza and not pizza join forces is crazy.
Shout out to Spear, the owner of Pizza Westchester, is an awesome dude, and he has Steaks Westchester and soon to be Ice Cream Westchester. And Spear was super instrumental in getting that all done for us.
That's an awesome brand. I like what he's doing there. That's I was a Westchester alum, but I missed the boat on Pizza Westchester. My heart was always at Rigtown at like 2 a.m. getting whatever slices they had left. They were just like, hey, just take it out with you guys. Dollar slices.
I love his branding. I love that just pizza, steaks, ice cream. Super cool.
I mean, and he has to have gotten like crazy business since Portnoy gave him an insane score.
Absolutely.
So like talk to us about like so you're both not really from like a brewing background, right?
Nope.
So where do the recipes and everything, like the ideas for this, where does that all come from?
I thought you'd never ask. Go ahead, Chris.
So we outsourced that. We hired one of the nation's premier flavor development groups for both alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. It's a company called Flavor Man. Pretty much the coolest name for a flavor development company there is.
Does he come from Flavor Town, from our Lord and Savior Guy Fieri?
You know what? When I hear Flavor Man, I think of the big Kool-Aid guy.
That's I was thinking just like breaking through a wall.
Yes. But it's this company based out of Louisville, Kentucky, and it is like it's a science laboratory. Like it is legit. Tons of employees, scientists. Like they are. Their job is whatever kind of drink you want to make, however you want to make it taste, they develop it. Awesome. So essentially what we did was we hired this company, we purchased, what did we do? 10 drinks to be developed.
10 flavors.
We wanted to have our first 4, but we wanted to have 6 others like in the pipeline. Economically it made more sense. It was less expensive to kind of purchase 10 at once than to do 4 and then another batch of 4 and then another. So
makes sense.
Yeah, so
it wasn't inexpensive though.
Yeah, no, not at all. But
Flavor Man comes at a premium, guys.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah. But listen, at the end of the day,
we're all for us.
Yeah, I mean, we're called Not Pizza. It's kind of a gimmicky name. We'll get into the can design later, but like we have these sexy cans. but we knew that the drink had to taste good, or else, the name itself is going to get people to try it. But like, if it doesn't taste good, they're not going to come back and get it a second time. It's just going to be that gimmick, that that flash in the pan type thing.
That initial marketing only gets you so far, and that
right.
like once they have to try it, it has to stick. So
yeah, so we knew it had to taste, and that wasn't. I mean, that was crucial for us. We said from the beginning, like, we're not going to concoct this. We can't do this. It needs to be developed by someone who's a professional, who's going to make it taste amazing. And the process was super cool. From the very beginning, it's this Zoom call with a bunch of their employees, their flavorologists, going over what kind of drink do you want to make. You want it to be vodka based. All right. What kind of calories do you want it to be? How do you want the drink sweetened? What flavors do you want? And, once you kind of hone in on all those items, they send you samples to try of each flavor. So like, we're trying the orange right now. So we were sent, at the very beginning, an orange A and an orange B. All right, so let's pour them out. Let's look at the color. Let's smell it. Let's taste them. What's the sweetness level? So then you try those two and you're like, okay, well, I like the flavor of A, the color of B, the smell of A. You get to send that feedback. And then weeks later, now comes sample C and D based on your feedback.
Love a good orange A. I'll tell you
that. Flavor man's just like, say no more, fam. I got you.
I'm still over here like, man, I spent all those years at film school. I could have been a flavorologist. Could have been studying flavorology.
I don't think any of us are smart enough to do what those guys do over there.
If I knew when I had my rolling bar cart in my dorm back in like the early 2000s.
Oh, hell yeah. You were a mixologist.
I could have been a flavorologist there. The things I did with Mountain Dew.
They still talk about
nozzles.
Yeah, they still talk about it.
So you had orange A and orange B, and they're giving you all these like different like tasting profiles, and
you're trying to give your feedback, then you get the next samples, and you kind of keep doing that with all the flavors. I remember the first time we got it, we had 2 samples of all 4 flavors. By the end of it, I think Luke and I were both pretty buzzed, to be honest, like trying to remember which one we liked better, because we're just sitting there all afternoon trying these samples.
I think in Louisville was the only time we actually used the spittoon, because we had to drive 2 hours back to the airport.
Yeah.
We were like,
all
right, fine.
Oh yeah.
Why don't Luke,
you had a seltzer sommelier.
Yes, Luke, tell them about the Louisville trip and how like we, the final stages of doing the flavors.
Yeah, it was cool. Like, they're like, all right, well, we're honing in on your guys' flavors. Why don't you come on down to Louisville and we'll tweak your flavors in real time. So we went to their headquarters. We had a blast. I think we were in Louisville for like 22 hours. Like we like landed, slept, woke up, tasted, drove back. And then flew out, but it was awesome. Like we got to their thing and we're all like, I would say like we stood in this big circle and every single person from their company introduced themselves. Like it kind of like in my memory, we were like holding hands, like as a one big group, like we're going to develop these delicious flavors. But just such a cool experience.
Oh, yeah.
Super impressive facilities. And we ended up developing, like Chris said, 10 flavors in total. So when we launched, we put out our first 4, the orange and berry seltzers, lightly carbonated, as we talked about, and then the non-carbonated iced tea and lemonade. So behind those 4, we have 2 more seltzers, a black cherry and a tropical. And then we have an iced tea lemonade blend.
That's good.
And a peach iced tea. Yeah. And then a peach iced tea. And then Chris, the other 2 are really fun to talk about. I'll let you do that. I don't want to take all the fun.
Yeah. So we also developed 2 12.5%ers. Like all these are 5. So we have we've got a margarita, which is it's like straight margarita drank out of the can, 12.5%. And we also developed an espresso martini.
Wow.
That's a big one right now.
Listen, and it's
so
phenomenal. We have, because we've tasted them, like we've done some tastings with them. We literally have restaurant owners who want to buy it so their staff doesn't need to make it. They're literally going to pour our can into glasses because it tastes that much like an espresso martini. It's that good.
I think I just heard my wife stir upstairs. Like she heard espresso espresso martini.
Yeah. She quivered a little bit. Yeah, it's like I said, like it was an investment, but and the drinks really did turn out so good, and we were able to give them like direction, and I think from the beginning we were all on board with like, hey, these things cannot be like just like a sugary mess.
Yeah.
And in the flavor development process, you come across all these marketing crossroads. Oh, well, do we want to do color, or do we want to just keep them clear? How are we, and one of the big ones, the biggest one I think for us that we've been talking a lot about during our tastings is the element of artificial sweeteners versus real sugar. And any brands that you see claiming 100 calories or less on their can, on their packaging, in their advertising, the only way to achieve less than 100 calories is to use artificial sweeteners. And so that's the marketing play. It's like, do you want to give up calories and try to dive in that market of like, we're the 100 cal, slim can thing? Or do we say fuck calories and we just like, use real sugar? And that was the route we chose to went. That was the route we took. And we're so happy that we did. No artificial sweeteners in our drink. We use all real sugar. And I think that is what's really setting us apart from a flavor standpoint. Everybody's feedback is like, oh, wow, this like the sweetness is so light and subtle. And that was what we wanted from the start.
I think that's a huge thing, because if I have the choice between like a regular Coke or a Mexican Coke, I'm going Mexican Coke every time, because they use real sugar.
Yeah.
And that makes a huge difference.
People always say you can never tell, but you can tell. You can definitely tell, especially
absolutely
with these drinks too. Like,
yeah,
I've had like the RTDs every now and then. Like, I work in the industry, in the craft beer industry, and I mean, it gets exhausting beer after beer. So like, I'm having Surfsides. I'm having like some of the other companies. It's like, yeah, I mean, they do just taste fake. Like, it's that art. Yeah.
Look, I'll be, I love a Surfside. White Claw, Stateside, I haven't had one in years, just because I'm like, I don't like the taste of it.
Yeah.
Like it's like the flavor isn't right. Like the aftertaste is weird to me. And going into this, I was like skeptical. It's like, what are we gonna get? And I'll be completely honest with you.
He was the biggest skeptic here coming in. Like I know he put it all on me at the beginning of the episode. It was 100%. I was like, oh yeah, sure, dude. I approach tasty beverage where I'm just like, yeah, I'll drink it. And Tom was just like, whoa.
So my thought is like, all right, these two local guys are doing this RTD. Like, is this just a big is it so much more marketing than it is like that actually goes into it? What's this going to taste like? Like, is it just going to be, low quality and like everything's gone into social media posts?
Right.
And I'll say, like, right off the bat, it's not like, I'm sure this doesn't make a big difference to everybody, but just picking it up, it feels like a quality can. Like you can feel like the embossing on the label.
Full wrap too. The full wrap.
The full wrap is huge. It felt premium, like just picking it up.
Sweet.
And I'll say that the taste is well exceeded my expectations. This is one of the best seltzers I've had, like on a mass scale. Like I've had good like small batch seltzers from like craft breweries, but this is excellent. Like I'm already 3/4 of the way done my second can.
Yeah,
this is such a crusher.
The orange is such a crusher.
As soon as you crack the can, the orange was just immediately just in this area of my nose. Like I even had the can down here. I cracked in, we started talking and I went, ooh, that's orange.
It's Valencia too. Valencia orange.
It's a
fancy.
It's a boozy orange soda that doesn't taste fake.
Yeah, dude.
It's a bougie orange.
Yeah, there you go, bougie.
But it's a Valencia. All right.
A lot of people have been saying like, oh, it's like Fanta, but like it gets you buzzed.
I think.
Well, it's glad they're not saying Faygo.
Yeah,
maybe even worse. Like you guys just go hardcore into like the ICP like group. They're like, oh man, have you guys had not pizza? Whoop whoop. Oh man, that would be the weirdest demographic to tap into. Could you imagine you guys just had clown people just coming after Not Pizza and wanting it?
All are welcome.
Mm-hmm. I think what you said with using the real sugar, I think that's a thing that really is going to make you stand apart from everybody else. I think that's what I think is making the big flavor difference. That it tastes like not really like a boozy orange soda. It's almost like a boozy, like the I forget what they're called, the Pellegrino drinks. Orange Pellegrino.
Yeah, the ones with the fancy foil that you take 5 to 10 minutes to take off before you can actually enjoy it.
Yeah, it's super light, and 5%, you can crush these.
So light.
Yeah.
Well, it's also, when these RTD drinks kind of started taking off, 5 or so years ago, they were aimed at the calorie conscious person.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But the market has changed. And when we are researching and making these decisions, that's one of the trends they were saying, is that this is a for the masses product now. Yeah. A lot of these drinkers, they don't really care that it's 100 calories or a little more. And what we say in pretty much every tasting, I love saying it, is, I think Luke was even kind of the one who coined it, is, at the end of the day, you're drinking alcohol. Are you really going to sweat over an extra 30 calories to get real sugar as opposed to artificial sweetener? And everyone is like, yeah, I'd much rather have real sugar, and these taste better.
Right.
So it's these drinks are for everyone now. We're not going after just that, that very calorie conscious person.
Absolutely.
I think one of the things is the people are moving from craft beer, especially, to non-alcoholic beers. And it's you're not losing calories by taking the alcohol out, really, not a significant amount. You're drinking a calorie beverage that tastes like a beer, but you're not getting drunk.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the thought process is it's not really calorie conscious. I think it's more so people are more conscious about not getting so fucked up all the time.
And I mean, there's a bias here. We're two big calorie boys over here. We enjoy our calories. I mean, we both, in honor of pizza, had pizza before this, because we didn't know if this was a slight against pizza. We're like, oh, what's he saying about pizza here?
How dare
I was a little offended initially. I mean, growing up in the 80s with the Ninja Turtles, pizza's top 5 food right there.
It's one of the greatest foods on the planet. And it pairs very well with Not Pizza.
It does.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the seltzer, this is a top-notch seltzer. I would drink this.
Awesome.
Thank you, man. I agree. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Oh, I'm right around the corner from Parktown. I'm clearing them out.
Yeah.
So I think here the big test is what we're gonna get into next. Dan, are you ready to make a switch to the iced tea?
Oh, we're doing the Pepsi challenge?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think we need to get into the Point Break of the of the Not
Point
Pizza.
Break.
I mean, a whole Point Break line. I mean,
God. Yeah, you had so many. You could have there's so many.
That would be the only beach marketing I would say would separate you. Yeah, but it would be for John's crowd though. It would be us, and then like you said, your partner in his 50s. He's probably like, oh fuck yeah, Point Break.
Yeah, a Johnny Utah drink. Come on. Yeah, there's so many names. We're big idea guys over here.
Yeah.
We love a good bit here. I think we both didn't even plan it. After I picked this up, at Parktown, I kind of just took a glance over at Dimitri's Pizza, and I was on dinner duty tonight, and I looked over and went, that's what I'm doing for dinner tonight. Family. So
you could have had the Gary Busey meatball sandwich margarita.
Yeah,
man. Just so many.
Yeah, we toyed with the idea of not Hawaiian for a pineapple, and we quickly were like, no. We were like, back, go, get out of here.
Ooh, that's rough. It's rough after the fires too.
Too much of a gimmick. Yeah, it's just the name. The name is enough.
All right, Dan, I'm gonna crack this thing. You ready?
Cracking it too. Yeah, let's go. Oh.
All right. So tell us about what goes into. So we had the seltzer. What goes into brewing an iced tea beverage?
Yeah, what was that going to the tea side? Like, what were you striving to do with the Not Pizza on the tea side?
Well, I mean, so in terms of brewing process and everything, I mean, that's not necessarily Luke and I's field. So I think that the big thing for us was just when we were deciding what flavors to launch with, we wanted to have the variety of some seltzers and some non-carbonated, because we knew that there were people who like the bubbles and some who don't like the bubbles. And a lot of
Yeah.
brands weren't doing both. They were one or the other. And we thought, having that option of, both options would be great. And actually, at the end of the month, we're rolling out our variety pack, our 12 pack, and it will be one of maybe the only variety packs where you can get both in a variety pack.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, you see it like with the other brands that they're separate. And in variety packs, you don't get both the seltzer and the tea. It's like they have their tea variety pack and they have their seltzer variety pack. So having both, that's an awesome concept. That's a good concept to grab like both types of RTD drinkers right there.
So initial thoughts on the tea. It's very similar to the vodka, where it's super light. Like you can tell you guys are using like real tea. It has that like real tea leaf flavor. It doesn't have that like artificial sweetener taste that like a Surfside does, and where it's like overly sweet.
Yeah, like I feel like this is like, very light on the sweetness, which I enjoy. Honestly, and I think some of the others are heavier than, some brands are heavier than others. And this one here kind of hits a nice like light sweetness.
Yeah, it's almost like an unsweetened tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
exactly.
Just a hair of sweetness right there. It's perfect for me, and I think it's gonna make the Arnie Palmy stand out when that comes out too.
I think
it's really good.
I think the vodka comes through a little bit more on this one. You get a little bit more of that vodka bite on it.
I agree too.
But it's not like a harsh, like not making me want to take another sip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very refreshing. Like this is definitely like, I could see this replacing Surfside as like a beach beer or like a beach drink for me, where it's like, I don't feel as gross with like so much sugar, this is like, it's a very light, like that's what, and that's what I've always like aspired for with beach beverages.
Luke just went full like Howard Dean. He was just like,
oh man, I really wish you had grabbed the lemonade. That lemonade is going to be the drink of the summer, man. I'm telling you, it's so light and refreshing. And
I'll be venturing out to get a sixer of the lemonade, because that was
I'm gonna get there first, man. Come on.
I mean, the lemonade Surfside is my go-to. I feel like that one is less sweet than their like iced teas. I've gone away from the iced teas. I've gone with I forget what they released, blackberry lemonade. They went with like a full like lemonade. Their 4-pack from this summer was pretty damn good with the green tea, the blackberry lemonade, pretty good. But I feel like the lemonades are somehow less sweet or less like artificially sweet than the iced teas.
Yeah, I agree with you. But you guys are picking up on like everything that we wanted these drinks to be, and that we also like. I agree with all your tasting notes. Like I do think the vodka comes through a little more in the iced tea, and I do think that this like you commented on the light sweetness of the orange and the light sweetness of the tea, and that's sort of the trope through all our flavors. They all just have that. Oh, it's just a little subtle sweetness. It's nothing super in your face, and that was by design.
And Sly Fox is distilling the vodka for this?
Yes.
Nice.
Are you using what's their, because they bought out the distiller across the street. Are you using their vodka?
They're not the ownership of that is I'm actually not sure how it's structured, but in doing the marketing for Sly Fox for 3 years, like Manatawny, that's who you're
it's a separate animal.
It's a separate animal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're their own thing. So Sly Fox just recently got their distilling license. They don't have anything like you know, in 750 milliliter bottles with labels on it that they're actively selling. This was sort of like John got the liquor license or the distilling license, and he's like, let's go right into an RTD.
So John was like the one from Sly Fox that brought this up. It wasn't our buddy Peter Giannopoulos.
Oh, you know Peter?
Yeah,
he's been on the podcast.
Yeah. And it's funny because I'm pretty sure we've interacted, Luke, through the Sly Fox account, because we were trying to have Peter on last year, and it just didn't work out. And I think we were interacting with the girl that was there before you.
Okay.
When we had him on previously, him and the head brewer, Tim. Yeah. We had them on a couple years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, that was pandemic. Was that or no, out of the pandemic? I think just slightly out of it, just like 2021. I think we had him on.
Okay, that was probably right before I got involved. But Peter, I mean, Peter and I chat daily because, always trying to help them with their marketing too.
And it's funny, Chris, that you honed in on that change of like their marketing vibe, because I too kind of felt that where the videos got different and different in a good way, where I was like, all right, Sly Fox, getting with the times finally. This is cool. Like I associate like Sly Fox. Yeah, I used to live in Stowe, and I went to the Pottstown location a lot, but like nothing takes me back like sitting in front of that Fox lamp at the Phoenixville tap room and just being like, it's like low light. I feel like I'm drinking in like an old tavern. I'm like, yeah, this is the Sly. This is my dad's Sly Fox.
Yeah. You're spot on.
Yeah, very dark tavern vibe of the Phoenixville location.
Yeah. I'll have an O'Reilly stout and pay in cash and leave.
I'm going to sit in silence and drink this.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
I got one guy next to me who's got eyebrows that stretch for miles, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna have this and get out. Some old gentleman looks at me with the giant eyebrows every time I go to the Phoenixville like that. I swear to God, if you're local, man, and you go to that Sly Fox, like eyebrow dude will look at you, and those eyebrows will stay in your memory bank.
It's the same guy every time, or just
like, it is the same guy. I'm like, shit, eyebrows is here. Every time I walk in, like my barber's right down the street. I'm like, get my hair cut. I'm like, I'm gonna stop in for an O'Reilly stout. It's been a while since I sat in front of a lamp, a Fox lamp, and enjoyed a stout. And as soon as I walk in, I'm like, God, here he is, eyebrows again.
Who cuts your hair?
I got a guy, C&T Barbershop. It's like right down on 113 and kind of like closer to Chester Springs. So on my way back there.
Was it
Gotcha.
Yeah. So are you guys using Sly Fox for distribution, or are you going through your own channels for that?
Yeah, so our TDs are in Pennsylvania are self-distributed. So we are loading up Luke's Jeep Wrangler, loading up my Subaru Legacy for the small orders and cramming as much as we can in. And then we do have access to Sly Fox's like Sprinter van for larger orders, or we borrow a pickup truck, because we've had 80 case orders from Superior Beverage in Phoenixville, 40 case orders from a bunch of local distributors, and even 24 case orders that we need to have forklifted in and out. So we'll utilize those bigger vehicles for those.
You need to upgrade yourself to the Ascent.
Dude, I would love an Ascent.
He needs that third. He needs third row seating for
the third row folds down.
Yeah,
I love that Chris threw the make and model in there.
Yeah,
it's no biggie. It's a Legacy.
You can fit a pallet in there, or a good time with your wife.
I mean, my wife has the Honda Odyssey, so we got the minivan.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys got all the room.
3 kids. We
also kids, man.
We have a DVD player in there too. It's a 2017, so I can flip the screen down.
Oh, no. That's just DVD, not Blu-ray, right?
Yeah.
Just DVD.
That's right.
It's not that fancy.
That's the only thing I've looked at. Like, I don't think I could ever make the full move to a minivan, and we're gonna get a little dad.
Yes, you could. Yeah, you could.
A little dad
once
discussion.
You have the minivan, you love it.
The minivans are sick now. Like you can get like Netflix in there. Like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like every seat has a like, hey, just zonk your kids out with blue light.
I know. I know.
Dude, I've been a
like,
proponent of the minivan like pre-kids. Going on like snowboarding trips and stuff, we would rent a minivan because you can get all the snowboard bags in it, and you just line them all up down the middle, like it fit all your friends in it, and it was like we raged in minivans. I was leaving like 5-star reviews on like rentals for minivans because it was the best vehicle I ever rented.
Minivans are incredible. I love the minivan.
Yeah, doing donuts. I mean, I was like, these are perfect for doing donuts in the snow. I mean, you guys should really try it. 5 stars.
The minivans are going to be like the RTDs of cars. They're just going to be make a resurgence.
Yeah. Dads are going to be using it full time. Like, I've really shifted to the RTD.
You can fit so many fucking cases of RTDs in here.
That's right. Use those for deliveries.
Yeah. So what's next for Not Pizza?
Well, I mean, we're kind of, our first run of cans was 1,000 cases.
Okay.
That's what we started with. And we have sold now getting close to 750 of those cases.
Ooh.
In like 4 weeks. So just today, we were kind of all talking in our group chat that like we can't take on any new accounts until our next run of cans because we don't want to run out. So we have more cans arriving in about a week, and then we start brewing in about 2 weeks. So in about 2 weeks, we'll have our next run of cans, which will be a much, much larger. So once we get to end of February, early March, it's like we're just viewing it as all systems go. Like we are just going to try to be anywhere and everywhere, as opposed to like right now, just like hyper local. But we're going to be strategic too. Like Westchester that Luke mentioned is a big play of ours. Like we know if this drink's going to be successful, it's got to be popular with that younger demographic. So, we're being strategic. We have a whole game plan set up for how we're going to get into Westchester. We're already starting to execute that, and we already have bars and restaurants wanting our product there, a place that wants to host us for a launch party. We have students who want to be brand ambassadors. So, I'm not gonna lie, things are going, far, far exceeding my expectations in the first 4 weeks. Like it's crazy to go from Superior Beverage ordering 24 cases, selling out in 48 hours, to then 40 cases selling out in like 4 days, to then an 80 case order during January, which is the slowest time of the year for alcohol sales.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough for it's rough for us.
Yeah, whoever started Dry January should be put in jail.
Yeah, Sober October is like bad enough. As kids, you're taking out the key element of trick or treating is when you have your Yeti out there of your favorite bevy while you walk around.
Yeah.
But now it's just continuing to grow and to do, like Luke said, we're trying to do as many of these tastings, as these launch parties, as these podcasts, getting out, talking about the brand. We love doing this. We're running a little bit thin at times, and we're both working other jobs and young kids, and our wives picking up a ton of slack. But like, it's
shout out to the wives.
Shout out to Kathleen.
Yeah, and Jess.
Yeah, I mean, Luke looks like he's gonna throw the wash into the dryer as soon as he's done here. Like, are you in your laundry room right now? Yeah, I knew. I was like, man, this guy's on laundry duty tonight. I feel you, man. I got 2 baskets upstairs. It's
just the only place where it's quiet, and I don't feel like I'm gonna wake everyone in the house up.
I know. I'm deep in the basement where there's no windows, so
it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean that's it's got to be a wild thing. Like Chris, you went from giving reviews to Anna Marie's in Royersford. Now you're pumping out quality RTDs.
Yeah, well, and still giving reviews to
Anna Marie's. I mean, yeah. Hey, hello, 422 Co. Shout out. Isn't stopping, right? Like you're still keeping that account going.
No, it's not. It's absolutely. I mean,
is it dead?
Is it dead? No, it's
no.
It's very
it's not.
alive.
You're saying it's not stopping.
No, it's not stopping. That's continue going. Truthfully, that's a big reason why of what I think springboarded Not Pizza is the fact that I have 50 plus local restaurants and bars that I work with, and I have such I have such amazing support from the community that I had so many places that wanted to take Not Pizza right away. And I think even if the product sucked, we still would have sold a ton of it at the beginning because, and to Luke's credit too, he's very well known in the area. People love, and Luke just has such a great positive energy about him that both of us just attract so many good people into our lives and so many business owners that, wanted to take a shot on us and carry our product, and just general people in the area who wanted to come out to support us. That really helped us get into a lot of places. And then, they tried it and realized just how damn good it was. And yeah,
I think it is a testament to like you like, especially like I've never heard anybody say anything bad about you, especially Chris, like that. I've only heard positive things about that account because you're doing it the right way. You're promoting, you're propping up the local businesses and doing it the right way. And I think it's a testament to you, and you're reaping the benefits of it now.
Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad the first time I met Chris. I was bartending at Rebel, and this guy comes in. He's like, "Oh, I'm just picking up some beers for Hello 422." I'm like, I was like, "The fuck is this guy? This guy just getting free beer?" I'm like, "Who is he?"
Yeah. Do you want to hear my best thing I ever did with Hello 422? Is I spend a lot of money on craft beer. I developed an RTD, but I'm a craft beer guy to the core. Like I was just having some Hidden River IPAs tonight. Ooh. So I spend a lot of money on craft beer, and I'm thinking in my head, like, dude, I run this Hello 422. I've got like 20,000 social media followers. I got 3,500 email subscribers. There's got to be a way to offset this beer expense that I have every month. So I started up. I now do once a month. I send out a mass email that lists all of the local breweries and like their 3 most recent beers they released, with a link to their website, a link to their beer list, a nice updated photo they've posted. And all the breweries pay me 2 4-packs a month to post it. So once a month I get like, I don't know, 34 packs of beer of my choosing. Like, I mean, this is my beer fridge. Like,
scratch the surfaces.
There's scratch.
There's scratch.
Rebel Yell, Rebel Hill. I mean,
I mean, you're doing it the smart way, man.
My phone is propped up with Stable 12 right now.
This guy's surrounded by delicious beer. I'm surrounded by laundry detergent. I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, this guy's just inhaling bleach right now. He's doing the whites.
Mine's propped up by a dustbuster.
Oh man, that looks heavy duty, man.
It's the Eureka door-to-door salesman in them.
That's still a plug-in, man. That's not even a cord. That's still a plug-in, man. That thing's...
No, it's cordless. It's cordless.
Oh, okay,
it's charging.
right.
Yeah.
I was like, that's brutal, man. That thing's heavy duty.
It's a dirt devil.
Yeah, I mean, it's you guys are doing everything the right way.
Yeah, I think the
stuff's fantastic.
Like Chris just said, like the community has been huge for us. Like it's kind of given us like this model. Like you asked what's next for Not Pizza. Like it's like we're trying to own our hometown, which like out of the gate we totally did. Like these launch parties, like our friends and family just came out and just like shared, like matched our excitement around it, which I just think like really propelled us. And now we want to take that same model and do it up in, Wyomissing, Westchester, Lancaster, start to make our way towards Philly and just kind of move outward, and just try to grow this.
Absolutely.
Hey, we gotta get you on our buddies our buddies podcast, the Full Slice podcast, with Senor Phil Bosco.
Oh, I know Phil.
Yeah,
He came out to our Phoenixville launch party.
We've had Phil on. We've had Hello 422 on. We just need like Cast Iron Kyle on. We just like Phil
Cast Iron Kyle.
Yeah, we need the holy triumvirate of local Instagram influencers. But yeah,
maybe we'll finally go over 2K followers. It's been 6 years.
Yeah,
it's been tough.
We're not the best at marketing.
Amazing dads, terrible at marketing.
Yeah. All right, podcasters, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, we're not blowing smoke. just because they're on. This is fantastic stuff. Really great stuff. Like, I'm going to go back and buy more because this is just really great. I don't know who runs the Instagram account, but I'm going to message you with an opportunity, or not like an opportunity, but like a suggestion that will benefit myself specifically.
No, can we, Luke, can we tell a quick story about our last podcast?
Absolutely, please.
Ooh, yeah. Which one was this?
Because this is our second podcast, so I'm interested to see.
Oh yeah.
Where this goes. So, I mean, first of all, we mentioned, or it might have been pre-podcast of this one, where we said you'd be the second one to shotgun one of our drinks, because one of the guys running the first podcast, he was the first one to shotgun one, but he also, is trying to loved our product so much, and I love this guy. They're two buddies, Mark and Nick from SEO Locale, up in, like, I think Jenkintown, run this kick-ass business of, like, Google optimization and everything.
Yeah.
But dude, their one owner, Mark, awesome guy, is obsessed with our product, and I think every other day I get an offer of $50,000 for 5% of our business, because he's so all about it. So I'm waiting to see if you guys come up with, like, 5%. We'll keep the
all right,
offer
Mark Cuban over there. I'm gonna let Tom handle that one over here. I'm good.
We got into it. I had this whole idea in my head where I was,
you got an investment right here. I'll buy some
$7 for 54% equity and residual payments, and I was going to Mr. Wonderful you.
Yeah.
I'll take 4-pack for a 4-pack next time you stop in at Rebel.
I think Mark, the guy Mark who won't stop trying to give us money, is I think the podcast was like, it was like 30 minutes long, and I think he had 6 Not Pizzas before the show was over. And then he just continued drinking them, and it was like 10 a.m. It was early.
It was awesome.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I probably could have smashed more if
if I didn't have to walk upstairs.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was the one thing keeping me from a fourth, was how do I walk upstairs without just like leaving it like this and just going like.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, look, check out Not Pizza, drinknotpizza.com, right? Find.drinknotpizza.com.
At Drink Not Pizza on Instagram, yeah.
Yep. They have all their links in their bio on the Instagram. They're all over locally. A lot of our listeners are local. Check out their stuff. Highly recommend it. It's really, really good stuff.
Absolutely.
High quality RTDs. This is our first venture into RTDs, and it's going to be hard to top this one, but guys, keep doing what you're doing. Great stuff. Can't recommend it enough. Thank you guys for coming on. We really appreciate it. Dan, any other thoughts?
So yeah, thanks again for coming on. Had a blast drinking these. Can't wait for the next local launch party. I'll shotgun one there. So I can't let Mark show me up here. I got to do one. So
Dan, we need to get the that shotgun gun.
The shotgun gun,
the shotgun gun.
I'll put it in like in roses, like in Judgment Day, Terminator 2. Just like start walking up with sunglasses on and just take out the shotgun.
Oh, we got one of our local guys. Can't wait to try it. Refreshing to hear a drink with real sugar.
Yes, let's go.
It's huge. It's huge.
That's cool seeing those comments come in. Next party, by the way, is this Sunday at Stonehouse Grill. We're doing Not Pizza Mimosas brunch.
Wow.
For Valentine's Day weekend.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Wednesday, February 19th, Rivertown Taps on their wing night having us out.
Oh, sweet. Stop up at the 420 tap room for Rebel on Sunday. We're doing barbecue and live hip hop DJs. So it's the very last hip hop Sunday before we close that location. So if you guys are on your way back from that tasting, stop in. We're going to have barbecue, live hip hop DJs. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, let's go.
Which one? Which location is that?
That's the 420. It's on the Schuylkill Road location outside of Phoenixville, right above Stonehouse, basically, like right outside of where Stonehouse is.
Okay.
Yeah, right off of Raps Dam.
Yeah,
all right, guys.
Yeah, that's
Chris,
one. Okay, got you.
Chris, Luke, thank you guys for hopping on with us tonight. thanks for sharing this with us. It's fantastic. Again, guys, check it out. Drink Not Pizza at Drink Not Pizza. Check them out all there, and we'll see you guys next week. We got another guest next week.
Yeah, back to back. We actually had this guest. This guest reached out to us. This is weird. It went to spam, but we found it real quick because nobody emails us. So it's either that or like 10 bots from the Kennett Brew Fest trying to get us to like,
oh my god,
be like trying to get us to be like
please buy our guest list. Please buy it.
Yeah, they're like, buy into our guest list to be featured at the Kennett Brew Fest. We're like, no.
Yeah.
We'll drink there.
Next week we'll be live with New Trail Brewing.
New Trail, Mikey Boy's coming back on.
Yeah, we got some good stuff to talk about there. We got an NA beer, Dan.
Yeah, we're hitting all the fads, man. We got RTDs, we got NAs. We're
basically Zoomers at this point. I'm hiking up my Nike Crew socks.
Fingers on the pulse. I don't wear ankle socks anymore. You can't do that at the gym.
Can't do that.
You have to wear half ones now.
Scrunch Crew or a half,
yeah. All you got to wear the socks that we made fun of in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, guys. Best Friends Podcast, episode 248.
We're out.
Sick.
See you guys.
Thanks
for
having
us,
guys.
Appreciate you. Look out. I'm gonna send you guys a message.
Okay.
I'm gonna let me end stream here.